This is episode 40, like American Top 40, songs 2220 to 2201.
Christopher Williams, Billboard Countdown.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Chris's Billboard Top 3000 Countdown podcast, where I discuss a set of 20 songs as they are ranked on Billboard's Hot 100 All-Time Countdown. Now, these songs come from Billboard's Hot 100 from the initial chart on August 4th, 1958, all the way to the end of 2022, a span covering over 60 years of the rock era. Now, Billboard assigns a point value based on the number of weeks on the chart, its peak position, and how long it stayed there, and it's weighted for different times during the rock era. Those points were all tabulated up of the over 12,500 songs that have hit the top 40 in that time period. Then we carve off the top 3,000, and then I discuss them in sets of 20. If you are in an 80s mood, then you have come to the right episode. 6 of the first 9 songs are from my favorite decade of the 80s, including the very first one, song 2220. This is a very popular 80s song, heavy on the 80s channel's rotation from 1983, although the song was written in 1927 and released in 1929 by composer Irving Berlin. It has several popular recordings through the years, including Harry Richmond and Fred Astaire, and notably in the 1974 film Young Frankenstein, the Mel Brooks film with Gene Wilder and Peter Boyle. Then in 1982, Dutch musician Taco made a new recording of the song using heavy synthesizers, which was popular at that time. And it became popular in the United States in 1983, went all the way up to number 4 on the countdown. Yes, I'm talking about Puttin' on the Ritz, and it's song number 2220. Leading off this set, let's hear a little bit of Taco and Puttin' on the Ritz.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Puttin' on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Puttin' on the Ritz.
Taco Akersi, born in Indonesia but raised pretty much everywhere, but most notably the Netherlands. It was definitely a one-hit wonder here in the United States, but had some moderate popularity in Europe throughout the mid-'80s with songs like Singing in the Rain, Tell Me You Like It, and In the Mood of Glenn Miller, a lot of cover songs from old 30s and 40s popular hits. That was Taco, song number 2220, and I just love having songs that I adore that bring me back to my childhood leading off the set. Puts me in a good mood for the rest of the set. And hello, everybody. I want to thank you for giving me a week off while I get myself reset and want to start releasing stuff on Wednesdays again. That's my goal, is to release stuff on Wednesdays. We have a great set list. I told you about all the 80s songs and some symmetry with these hits. Everything peaked between number 3 and number 6, and there was only one hit that peaked at 6. So everything in this set either peaked at 3, 4, or 5. No 1s or 2s, no 7s or 8s. But we spray to all fields. We've got some great classic rock hits. We've got some oldies from the 50s. And we go as late as 2013. In fact, 2009 and 2013 are our latest entries, and they're both by the same artist. A couple of more popular instrumentals that you will know right away, and an arena pop song that certainly had a lot more staying power than I ever thought possible. This came out in the early 70s, and people in the younger generations are still chanting as if the song came out 2 years ago. That's all coming up later. Our special segment, the most popular songs in rock and roll history that peaked at number 17. We started this a few podcasts ago where we did the most popular songs that peaked at 20 and 19 and 18. Well, I threw the question out to the Facebook group, what was the most popular song that peaked at 17? And I will be revealing that in this episode. Sticking in the 80s genre, we move from the synthesizer-heavy one-hit wonder taco to our favorite 80s heavy metal band, Guns N' Roses. Now, we've already heard from them twice, rocking out at song number 2672 with Welcome to the Jungle, and their sort of magnum opus heavy metal opera in November Rain at song number 2282. Here they give a little bit of their lighter side, an acoustic ballad called Patience from their GNR Lies album, the second one after Appetite for Destruction. And in 1989 hit number 4 after spending 10 weeks in the top 40. It's their second biggest hit of their career outside of the number 1 smash Sweet Child of Mine. This is song number 2219, Guns N' Roses and Patience.
Said woman, take it slow, it'll work itself out fine. All we need is just a little patience. Said sugar, make it slow.
Written by Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin of Guns N' Roses and produced by Guns N' Roses, and one of the staples of their concert tours. This was Patience, song number 2219 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. A good song. And we go to song number 2218. It's the third straight P song. We had Puttin' on the Ritz, and we had Patience, and now we have Paparazzi. Yes, referring to 21st century pop sensation Lady Gaga, who you're going to get to know very well over the next couple of podcasts. This is her fourth hit on this countdown, all with one word. We had Shallow at song number 2859. We had Love Game as one word at song 2725, and most recently Telephone at song 2455. She's got 4 left, and the first one of it's here, Paparazzi, the only song in this set that peaked at number 6 back in 2009. Spent 24 weeks in the top 40. Paparazzi, a term used to describe photographers that take candid pictures of celebrities, so I'm sure Lady Gaga is quite familiar with the paparazzi that chase her around the world. Let's hear a bit of it, shall we? Song number 2218. This is Lady Gaga.
I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi, baby, there's no other superstar, you know that I'll be. Paparazzi, promise I'll be kind.
A bit of a stalking song, isn't it? Lady Gaga and Paparazzi. I always felt that the pop superstar female from the 80s and even into the 90s, Madonna, when she passed off the torch to Britney Spears in the late 90s, supposedly, I really think the torch was passed to Lady Gaga because she most resembles, I think, the superstar female pop sensation that Madonna was in the 80s, at least how I remember it from growing up in my childhood. Anyway, this is not the last we're going to hear from Lady Gaga, not even in this set. Have I foreshadowed that enough? That was Paparazzi, song number 2218. There was a brief time in my young childhood that I loved country pop star Eddie Rabbitt a bunch, even as much as Daryl Hall and John Oates, which I can't even believe I'm saying that now, but it was in 3rd grade because I really, really loved the song I Love a Rainy Night, his big hit. There was a girl in 3rd grade, Dana Dobeck, now Dana Dobeck Lewandowski, who is one of the listeners of this podcast. Hello, Dana. That was the only other person that I knew that was a devout Eddie Rabbitt fan, so we could actually talk about him a bit and I Love a Rainy Night. And this song, which actually came out before I Love a Rainy Night, called Driving My Life Away. It was his first top 10 hit of the 8 top 40 hits that he had in his career between 1979 and 1982, at least the first pop crossovers. Remember, he was a country star during that late 70s, early 80s time period where there was a lot of crossovers country into pop stars like Kenny Rogers, Juice Newton, Dolly Parton, and Crystal Gayle. But Driving My Life Away is a fun song. It's a good, catchy tune that can appeal to all the masses, not just country fans. I like it a lot. It hit number 5 back in 1980, and it lands here at song number 2217. This is the first of 4 songs on this countdown for Eddie Rabbitt, Driving My Life Away, song number 2217.
Well, the midnight headlight find you on a rainy night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down, making no time. But I gotta keep rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out a tempo, keeping perfect rhythm with the song on the radio.
A toe tapping, listening to it on the car radio on the highway type of song. Eddie Rabbitt, Driving My Life Away, song number 2217 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Like I mentioned, we're going to hear him 3 more times, including that aforementioned number 1 hit, I Love a Rainy Night. Well, the next 2 songs in this set have no words in them. We have 2 more instrumentals. We've been hearing a lot of them in the last couple of podcasts, and these 2 are very, very well known, if not necessarily from the titles themselves. This is the first one. It's by the Memphis R&B soul group Booker T and the MGs. And the organ sound in this instrumental has defined the Memphis soul sound going forward. It's called Green Onions. And back in 1962, it went all the way up to number 3 on the charts after spending 12 weeks in the top 40. You'll know this when you hear it. Let me play it for you. Green Onions, Booker T and the MGs, song number 2216. Ring a bell? I hope so. It's a quintessential early 60s rock and roll tune. Booker T and the MGs. Booker T. Jones won a Lifetime Grammy Award for all the work he's done in the 20th and 21st century. Still alive, too. He's 81 years old. Actually, 82. He's just had his birthday a couple of days ago. Same day as my daughter. Interesting. That was Booker T and the MGs with Green Onions, song number 2216. Moving on to song number 2215, another one that doesn't have any words in it, but we move all the way up to the year 1987. Another 80s hit. An 80s instrumental? Yeah, there were a few of them. This one was from jazz musician Kenny G. Yes, it's a Kenny G song. I can hear the collective groan from all over the world about Kenny G. He has become a little bit of a punchline now, but at the time he was kind of the emblem for pop jazz in the late 80s. Even that wonderful mullet of his that rivals Michael Bolton at the time. And you have to be pretty good to be able, as an instrumental, to break the pop charts back in the late 80s. He did it 6 times between 1987 and the year 2000. This is the one that broke him out into the mainstream, a number 4 hit called Songbird. It was his first of only 2 top 10 hits he's had in his career, and the only one that made it onto this countdown. This is Kenny G with song number 2215. This is Songbird. Definitely an easy listening elevator type song, but it's a pleasant one as well. Songbird. Kenny G, born Kenneth Bruce Gorelick in Seattle, Washington. 69 years old now, still kicking it. Not just kicking it, he has sales of over 75 million records worldwide. That's quite impressive. His best hit in the United States, Songbird, song number 2215 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Well, if you're new to my Facebook group and you found this podcast by clicking on the link in the Facebook group, I wanted to let you know you can find me anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find me on Apple. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Audible, on Echo, you can find me on Player FM, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just look for Chris Billboard Top 3000, look for my avatar, and click on me. Then you can subscribe to me, and then anytime there's a new episode, it'll get downloaded. And if you found me on one of the podcast sites but didn't know I have a Facebook group, well, I have a Facebook group. Go to Chris Billboard Top 3000 Countdown Podcast on Facebook and request to join, and I'll invite you in. We have over 300 members to date. Now, on to song number 2214. One of the questions that I asked on the Facebook group was to give me a top 40 overdramatic love ballad from the 80s that you love, because there certainly were a lot of them in every decade, but the 80s, man, they had their power ballads and their overdramatic love ballads galore. And I got some really good responses there. Remember, if you do respond to one of my questions, you could be in this podcast. Chris Hutchinson Williamson, for example, mentioned I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner and Crazy for You by Madonna as a couple of her lists. Tim Little, Take My Breath Away by Berlin, that number one song from 1986. And the honorable mention to Still Loving You by the Scorpions. Yes, they had a bit of overdramatic love ballads for a heavy metal band. Tim Jones mentions Don't Know Much by Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville. Mary Storrs, The Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's an interesting one. Tara Morrison says there's so many, but Eternal Flame by the Bangles was the first to pop into my head, followed by Careless Whisper by George Michael. Anthony DeFranco picked Living Inside Myself by Gino Vanelli. I remember that song. Elizabeth Armstrong, which probably is the most overdramatic of the bunch. I totally agree with her. Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler wins hands down for drama. And Irene Washington said, You took mine. She would also say I Need a Hero, although that's not as much of a ballad as Total Eclipse of the Heart. Rich Gomez says, Let Me Be Your Angel by Stacey Ladisaw. I remember that one. Mark Enns said, Can't Fight This Feeling by REO Speedwagon. Dan Ruskin, here's another overdramatic one, Honestly by Stryper. Oh my goodness, I haven't thought of that song in a long, long time. Kenny High mentions You Could Have Been With Me by Sheena Easton. Very underrated one. I wish that made the countdown. It didn't because it peaked in the teens. Matt Geske said I Remember You by Skid Row. Not a traditional love ballad, but very overdramatic about loving someone. Robert Brittenham lists Sister Christian as one of them. Jeffrey Marr put Love Bites by Def Leppard. Is this bringing back some good memories for you guys? And the overdramatic love ballad category? Endless Love, of course, overdramatic. Jim Robertson lists that one. Richard Congram has Alone by Heart, another number one hit. Anthony Valesquez, When I'm With You by Sheriff. Yes, that one actually came out in 1981, but didn't hit number one until 1989. And Andrew Davis, Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. All good ones. Thank you so much for contributing. There was one band that's all they had were overdramatic love ballads, which is why I wanted to bring up the topic. I'm talking about the Australian soft rock group Air Supply. You guys remember them. They almost have a musical theater feel to their music, which makes sense because the founding members, Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell, met while rehearsing for the show Jesus Christ Superstar. They had 11 top 40 hits in their career in the United States, 10 of them between 1980 and 1983, and just about all of them were overdramatic love ballads, but they were good. Everybody remembers them, and they were very, very successful. Of the 11 top 40 hits, 8 of them went top 10. In fact, 8 of them went top 5. 4 of them exactly number 5. They were really big at peaking at number 5, including this one from 1981 called Here I Am Just When I Thought I Was Over You. I do want to make the note that listeners Jeffrey Mosher, Karen Shupp, and John Quintero all picked an Air Supply song as one of their favorites. Jeffrey Mosher picked this song, a number 5 hit that spent 15 weeks in the top 40. Here is song number 2214. Here I Am, Just When I Thought I Was Over You by Air Supply.
Just when I thought I could stand on my own, oh baby, those memories come crashing through, and I just can't go on without.
It's a ballad, it's dramatic, and I'm here for it because it's marvelous. Air Supply, with one of their 8 songs in this countdown. Here I Am, Just When I Thought I Was Over You. Song number 2214 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Song number 2213 is also an overdramatic love song. This one from 1977, though, by one-hit wonder singer-songwriter, musical activist Peter McCann. He's a one-hit wonder as a singer, but has a host of songwriting credits to his resume, writing songs for artists such as Sean Cassidy, Paul Anka, Jennifer Warren's Right Time of the Night, the 1977 hit, also Donny Osmond, Kenny Rogers, John Travolta, Michael McDonald, Whitney Houston, just a whole bunch of them. Good for Peter. He does grace the charts his one time with the love ballad, Do You Wanna Make Love? A number 5 hit from 1977 that spent 16 weeks in the top 40. This is song number 2213. Peter McCann, songwriter extraordinaire with Do You Wanna Make Love?
Do you wanna make love? Or do you just wanna fool around? I guarantee it will bring you down if you try and fool yourself.
The B-side of the record that plays Do You Wanna Make Love was Right Time of the Night. He recorded it himself. Jennifer Warnes then took that hit, re-recorded it, and made it a number 6 hit, also in 1977. One that just missed the countdown by a tiny bit. It was song number 3071. This was his best hit as a recording singer. Peter McCann, song number 2213 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. This was Do You Wanna Make Love? 80s icon Billy Idol makes his return to the charts. He was originally seen or heard way back at song number 2783, Got to Be a Lover. He has 4 hits on this countdown. This is the second one, a number 4 hit, and this is also a love ballad. I wouldn't say overdramatic love ballad, but it takes him a little bit away from his punk rock sensibilities and smooths into more pop 80s sensibilities, called Eyes Without a Face. It peaked at number 4, spent 14 weeks in the top 40 in 1984. It was his first top 10 hit, too. He had come onto the scene in the MTV era with songs like Hot in the City, Flesh for Fantasy, and White Wedding, but none of those made the top 10. This one did, and it's song number 2212. This is Billy Idol. He's back with Eyes Without a Face.
It's easy to deceive, it's easy to tease, but hard to get released. Eyes without a face.
Billy Idol has had a little bit of the inverse of a pop star. Usually when somebody comes out with a hit, their best hit is first, and then the subsequent follow-ups are less popular on the charts. For him, it took him a while to get to the top 10 after 3 top 30 hits. And then in 1987, he hit number 1 with Moni Moni. And then in 1990, he hit with an even bigger hit, a number 2 hit called Cradle of Love. But all of his best hits, Billboard pop chart-wise, were later, as opposed to the early ones. That was Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face, song number 2212 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. We will hear them with those 2 hits. They're both in the top 1,000. A little treat for you. Well, let's go back to 1959 and pop superstar Connie Francis, who recently passed away, unfortunately, with the second of her 6 hits on this countdown amongst the 33 that she had throughout her career. I keep marveling at how many hits Connie Francis had in her career. And she's so polite about this particular one, realizing that her man isn't true because she discovered lipstick on his collar. I think in a 2010 song, if the same scenario presented itself, the protagonist would beat the shit out of the guy. But here she's just, I don't know, sad. Anyway, here's song number 2211, a number 5 hit called Lipstick on Your Collar. Spent 12 weeks in the top 40 in 1959, and it's song number 2211. This is Connie Francis.
You came back and man, oh man, this is what I saw. Lipstick
bit of a mid-tempo hit, Connie Francis, 1959, with Lipstick on Your Collar, song number 2211 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. She's got 4 songs left, 3 of them number 1 hits. One we'll be hearing in a few podcasts from now. And we are halfway done with this set. Now, song number 2210 is certainly an interesting one. It's a one-hit wonder by R&B artist Timmy Thomas from 1973, and it's known for 2 components. One, it was one of the first mega hits to feature a drum rhythm machine and not actually a live drummer on the track. The second component was it took about 90 seconds for the vocals to start. You would think it's an instrumental because the opening track goes for as long as it does. But no, it's an actual lyric song, and it's an anti-Vietnam War song, to be honest. He wrote it after hearing a report from Walter Cronkite about how many died in the Vietnam War, and said to himself, why can't we live together with so many families losing their loved ones? And the song, Why Can't We Live Together, became a number 3 hit in 1973 after spending 11 weeks in the top 40. This is Timmy Thomas and his innovative rhythm machine with the song Why Can't We Live Together, song number 2210. Let's take a listen.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live.
Timmy Thomas with his only hit in the top 40 and his only contribution to this countdown, but it's a great one. Why Can't We Live Together, song number 2210 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Well, in our special segment, the top songs in Billboard history that peaked at number 17. I had mentioned we've done this as a special segment several podcasts ago about songs that peaked at number 20, number 19, and number 18, and we put it away for a little while, but we're bringing it back out now, and for the next couple of podcasts. This is number 17. It's a good crop of songs. I'm going to give you the top 4, have you think about it a little, and then reveal the answer at the end. The nominees are, and these are the top 4 of all time, we just don't know in what order. But in alphabetical order, they are Allentown by Billy Joel. Actually, that one, not only is it one of my favorite songs, but it has a distinction. It spent like 6 weeks at number 17 in a row. Then we also have the 1973 hit by the band New York City called I'm Doing Fine Now. And then in 2013 from the group AWOL Nation, the song Sail. And then in 1976, the Ritchie Family with the song The Best Disco in Town. Of course, it's 1976. Everything was disco. Those are the 4 biggest hits in Billboard history that peaked at number 17. Which one is number 1? I'll give you the answer later. Now on with the countdown and song number 2209. Well, I've mentioned earlier in the podcast that Lady Gaga has 2 songs in this set. We heard from the first one already, the song Paparazzi at number 2218. Now 2209, she returns with a 2013 song called Applause. According to Lady Gaga, it was inspired by the cheering of her fans, which kept her motivated during the months she toured in the Born This Way ball, in pain, before canceling it due to a hip injury. And she pays respect to the art of performance. That's very nice. I'm a big Lady Gaga fan, especially looking back later. I wasn't as much when the songs came out, but as a retrospective and knowing what a good person that she is, I've become a big fan. Lady Gaga went to number 4 with this hit in 2013 after spending 22 weeks in the top 40, and it's song number 2209. Here is Lady Gaga with Applause.
Applause, applause, I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the feeling of love. Turn the lights on. Put your hands up, make them turn.
I have to say, being an actor for over 30 years, you do kind of live for the applause and the laughs and the gasps of the audience. It keeps you motivated. I will tell you, the actors know that when the audience is reacting to what's going on stage. They are aware of it, and we do feed off of it. Anyway, that was a non sequitur. That was Applause by Lady Gaga, her second song of the set. And I will say there's a third song in the next podcast by Lady Gaga. She has several songs bunched together. That was song number 2209. Song number 2208, Alicia Keys, R&B, soul, hip-hop, piano-playing singer-songwriter extraordinaire from the early 2000s, makes her debut on this countdown. Born Alicia Augello Cook in New York City, and is one of the world's best-selling musical artists with over 90 million records worldwide sold, along with a rack of Grammys, most notably from her debut studio album Songs in A Minor in 2001. On the pop chart, she had 5 really well-known songs. 4 of them hit number 1 for exactly 5 or 6 weeks. I find that a really nice coincidence, along with a number 4 hit, If I Ain't Got You, which is one of the top 600 songs of all time because of the amount of time it's spent in the charts. But amongst her 14 top 40 hits total, she had a couple of others in the top 10, including this one. From 2003, it's called You Don't Know My Name, hit number 3 after spending 18 weeks in the top 40. This is the first of 6 songs we will be hearing from the great Alicia Keys at song number 2208. This is You Don't Know My Name. She bucked the trend a little bit with the Beyoncé-style hip-hop that was so popular in the early 2000s. That was You Don't Know My Name, song number 2208 by Alicia Keys. I mentioned this is the first of 6. The other 5 are all in the top 600. So this is a nice introduction to her, but most of her really popular work will be heard much later. I'm a big fan of hers, in particular the song If I Ain't Got You, one of my all-time favorite soul ballads, as it were. Well, there are only 2 artists in top 40 history that have the word something in their title. Deep Blue Something, with their song Breakfast at Tiffany's, we actually heard several podcasts ago. Here is the other one. It's Oakland, California's R&B soul group Something for the People. Curtis Sauce Wilson, Jeff Fuzzy Young were successful songwriters. In addition to singers, they wrote songs for groups like En Vogue and Brandy, 2 very popular R&B acts in the 90s. But as a solo group, they had just the one hit called My Love Is the Shh. Peaked at number 4 back in 1997, spent 23 weeks in the top 40, and it lands right here at song number 2207. This is Something for the People, and My Love Is the Shh. I can't say for sure whether it has one of those New Year's pinwheel noisemakers helping along with the beat tracks, but it certainly sounds like it, doesn't it? That was My Love Is the Shh by Something for the People, with a little help from their contemporary R&B group Trina and Tamara. It's song number 2207 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Well, the next song on this countdown was ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as the 144th greatest song in rock and roll history. For me, in my personal favorites, it's definitely in my top 100. And it's from one of the most successful rock and roll bands in rock history, the Rolling Stones. It's been a while since we've heard from them. They had Time Is on My Side at song number 2902 and the Harlem Shuffle at song 2591. This one is much better than both of them. It's from 1968. And the lyrics originated when Mick Jagger was once awoken in his house by the clumping footsteps of gardener Jack Dyer walking past the window. When asked who that was, Keith Richards replied, "Oh, that's Jack. That's Jumpin' Jack." And the song Jumpin' Jack Flash was born. It went all the way up to number 3 in 1968 after spending 11 weeks in the top 40, and it has one of the best riffs in rock and roll history. Absolutely love this song. Between this one and Give Me Shelter, those are my two favorite Rolling Stone songs of all time. Here's one of them, Jumpin' Jack Flash, song number 2206. So glad it made the countdown. I had mentioned a long time ago in one of the early podcasts how Aretha Franklin had a knack for taking a song that's very popular, remaking it so much her own that you would forget who the original artist was. And as great as she did a job in the remake of 1985 of this song, it doesn't replace the Rolling Stones version. Jumpin' Jack Flash, song number 2206. Their third of 14 songs that have made this countdown. I'm going to need a little help from my listeners on this one. Song number 2205 is a very popular anthem played at ballparks and other venues, of which the song is not a real rock anthem, but more of a pop song that has stayed the test of time to the point where future generations know exactly what it is, more from the chants that come back as they're singing the chorus of this song. You're like, what are you talking about, Chris? It comes from New York pop star Neil Diamond, who has his third song in this countdown. We already heard him do Hello Again way back at song number 2976, and then Heartlight at song number 2570. This is probably his most famous song, but I have to tell you, I don't remember as a kid growing up when this song was played, people chanting back at the radio during the chorus parts, and yet everyone does it now, which makes me think they always had been. Can any of the listeners give me the origin points of this? When they sing Sweet Caroline, Good Times Never Seem So Good, everyone shouts back, so good, so good, so good. And when they get to the part Sweet Caroline, they'll chant back, ba, ba, ba. I don't remember this being a thing. Now, it absolutely is a thing. Everybody knows it. My kids know it, but it kind of fascinates me how long this is held on and how long it will continue to be held on. Anyway, song number 2205 is the number 4 hit way back from 1969, Sweet Caroline, Good Times Never Seem So Good by Neil Diamond. Let's take a listen, shall we?
Touching me, touching you, Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good.
Neil Diamond has 3 number 1 hits in his long and illustrious career, but none of them have the staying power, in my opinion, as Sweet Caroline, song number 2205 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. If you do have a response to the origins of the chants, please respond in my Facebook group, Chris Billboard Top 3000 Podcast Facebook group. And if you're not in it, please request to join, and I'll happily let you in. And then you can tell me where you first heard the bop-bop-bahs of Sweet Caroline. So you've had enough time to kind of stew over which song was the most popular of all time that peaked at number 17. I will give you the nominees again. They are Allentown by Billy Joel, I'm Doing Fine Now by New York City, Sail by AWOL Nation, and The Best Disco in Town by the Ritchie Family. Well, The Best Disco in Town by the Ritchie Family was the 4th biggest of all time. It spent 11 weeks in the top 40 in 1976. In 3rd place is Allentown by Billy Joel. Spent 16 weeks in the top 40, 8 in the top 20, 6 of them at number 17 back in 1983, but it only gets to the number 3 position. The number 2 position is New York City's I'm Doing Fine Now from 1973, which spent 12 weeks in the top 40. And the number 1 song in Billboard history that peaked at number 17 is AWOL Nation's Sail. Back in 2013, it spent, get a load of this, 36 weeks in the top 40, but never got higher than number 17. In fact, it only spent 4 weeks in the top 20 altogether, but was on the charts so long, it's the number 1 song in Billboard history that peaked at 17. Now, on with the countdown. Well, a trio of legends we are in the midst of. We just heard the Rolling Stones, and we just heard Neil Diamond, and now we're about to hear another entry from Madonna. We actually heard 6 songs from her already pretty early on in this countdown. Frozen, Lucky Star, Dress You Up, This Used to Be My Playground, Angel, and 4 Minutes were all done within a 400-song span ending at 2581. So it's been a little while since we've heard from her after she started off with a blast. Well, this one at song number 2204, it's from 1994. This one's called Secret. It went all the way to number 3 after spending 20 weeks in the top 40, and it lands here at song number 2204, the return of Madonna and her 7th hit in this countdown. This is Secret. That was Madonna and Secret. She was still in the stratosphere in 1994. From 1984 to 1994, she was one of the most popular pop stars. 94, 95 was probably the end of her being in the stratosphere. She still had lots of hits in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, but music had changed a little bit and Madonna wasn't quite up at the top. I would say Secret and her number 1 smash Take a Bow in 95 kind of was the cutoff line of Madonna being top of the world. But being top of the world and being in the mezzanine level still isn't too bad for someone like Madonna. That was Secret, song number 2204 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. Of course, we're going to hear her again. Did you know that there are 4 songs that hit the top 40 that are named Tragedy? Just the one word all by itself. Yes, there's 4 times that this happened. John Hunter had a number 39 hit in 1985 called Tragedy. The Fleetwoods had one in 1961 that actually went top 10. And then, of course, that number 1 hit, Tragedy, from the Bee Gees in 1979. That's the one that most people know. But there was a 4th one. Way back in 1959, the first one to ever hit the chart is by Tommy Wayne and the DeLons. Now, Tommy Wayne was born in Batesville, Mississippi in 1940, and it was a one-hit wonder for him, although he did release the song This Time, which later became a hit for pop artist Troy Shondell. But he did strike gold here with the song Tragedy. It went all the way up to number 5 back in 1959 after spending 13 weeks in the top 40. And it lands here in our countdown at song number 2203. This is Tommy Wayne with the DeLons and Tragedy.
Hold me, love, be sincere, you gone from me. Oh, tragedy.
A couple of notes on this song. The remake of the song was actually done by the aforementioned Fleetwoods, the one that went top 10, but this one was ranked higher. Second note, the chorus in the back, the DeLons, as it were recruited from a local high school. a trio of girls from the local high school that sang background on this song. He unfortunately never cut his own CD. He worked as a sound engineer before he was tragically killed in a car accident in 1971. He was only 30 years old. But he did have this one big hit in Billboard history. At song number 2203, this was Tragedy, Tommy Wayne. I will always love this quirk and will bring it up every time this artist is mentioned. Dr. Hook or Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, it's their third appearance on this countdown. The quirk is they have 6 top 10 hits. 2 of them peaked at number 5, 4 of them peaked at number 6. No one was higher, no one was lower. I find that amazing. I love stuff like this. And Air Supply is a little bit like it too, with all of the songs that peaked at number 5, and that all of their top 10 songs were 5 or higher. But this one's even more interesting because of the exact nature of where it peaked. We already heard from When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman at song 2741, that peaked at 6, and Only 16 at song 2559, which also peaked at 6. This is the number 5 song from 1980, one of their last hits to go into the top 10, called Sexy Eyes. Spent 15 weeks in the top 40 and lands here at song number 2202. Dr. Hook, the Union City, New Jersey rock band, is back in the countdown with song number 2202.
Sexy eyes, moving across the floor, got me wanting more. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes.
It is a misconception that disco ended in the 70s, especially after disco demolition in the summer of 1979. However, there was still some disco in the 80s, some pop disco in particular, like this song from Dr. Hook, Sexy Eyes, song number 2202 on Billboard's Top 3,000 Songs of All Time. They have one more, number 6 hit still to go, but they've been a nice accompaniment so far on these podcasts with 3 songs to date. That was Dr. Hook. So what gets the final song of this set? Which one gets the drum roll today at song number 2201? Well, we go to 1965 to find that answer, and a one-hit wonder from Houston, Texas, named Jewel Akins, who's a singer and record producer, but just had one hit, a pop hit from 65 that went all the way up to number 3 after spending 12 weeks in the top 40. It was said to be written by the 12-year-old son of Era Records owner Herb Newman, but that wasn't the case. The actual songwriting credit goes to Barry Stewart, but Jewel Akins was the singer, and it's very, very poppy 60s hit for you. Kind of catchy for its era, absolutely. Do you want to hear it? Song number 2201, the top song in this set is The Birds and the Bees by Jewel Akins.
Facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Yeah!
That has the potential to be a real earworm, doesn't it? Jewel Akins and his number 3 smash, The Birds and the Bees, song number 2201. And it's kind of cool that the top song of the 2200s is a one-hit wonder. And another wonderful set has been completed. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being patient while I skipped a week and got myself reset for a new Wednesday release, Wednesday the 19th. And a shout out to listener Anthony Velasquez for his birthday. Happy birthday to you. I hope this is a good set for you. And we have now completed 800 songs reviewed out of 3,000. And as of this recording, we have 6,940 downloads from my Buzzsprout account of those 40 episodes plus extras. That's amazing. Any surprises so far? Any surprises that you haven't heard yet or that you have that you thought would be later? I'm interested to find out. Tune in next time as we now dig into the 2100s. Special shout outs today to Robert Brittenham, Tim Crawford, Tony Bibick, and all of the others that keep the Facebook group going with all of their wonderful posts. Without them, the Facebook group wouldn't be the best it could possibly be, so thank you, and everyone else that contributes. As always, I will end each podcast with a montage clips of the 20 songs that we just heard. Until next time, thanks everybody. It is one of the great pleasures in life to connect with people, both through music or through words. I hope I've done both. And so on, and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Good day.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz.
Said woman, take it slow, it'll work itself out fine. All we need is just a little patience. Said sugar, make it slow.
I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you until you love me. Papa, paparazzi, baby, there's no other superstar you know that I'll be. You Papa, paparazzi, promise I'll be kind.
Well, the midnight headlight find you on a rainy night, steep grade up ahead, slow me down, making no time. But I gotta keep rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out a tempo, keeping perfect rhythm with the song on the radio.
Just when I thought I could stand on my own, oh baby, those memories come crashing through, and I just can't go on without.
Do you wanna make love, or do you just wanna fool around? I guarantee it will bring you down if you try and fool yourself.
It's easy to deceive, it's easy to tease, but hard to get released. Eyes without a face.
You came back and man, oh man, this is what I saw. Lipstick on your collar, told a tale on you. Lipstick on your collar, said you were untrue. Bet your bottom dollar.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Tell me why, tell me why. Why can't we live together? Everybody wants to live.
Applause, applause, I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the feeling of love, turn the lights on, put your hands and make them turn, turn. Baby, baby, baby.
me.